Hi, hey there. Didn't expect to be on here again so soon. Like, I was planning to take a little bit of break with the videos, but. Well, if you're caught up with the manga of My Hero Academia and have been following the discussions about it, especially in regards to the latest chapter, hoo boy, today has been fun. If you aren't caught up with the manga, leave now, this is your warning. We're going to talk about chapter 213, the most recent chapter, which is not even officially out yet. The official release is on Sunday or Monday, I believe. Do support it, as I will, because, we're good people, but there is a bit of controversy stirring, and this is what I wanted to quickly talk about. Because, well, I live off drama, what can I do? Anyway, as you've probably seen on Twitter, on YouTube, on all your platforms, apparently Midoriya gets 6 quirks in this recent chapter, and everyone is up in arms about how this is an ass pull and how Horikoshi is going down the Kishimoto route of making his characters way too powerful, especially in regards to the main character. Now, that was something that came up with the first Chinese text spoilers, which are usually like 50-50 in accuracy, so it hadn't gotten quite bad then. But now that we have actual translations of the actual chapter itself, the 6 quirks are indeed part of the chapter, and people are jumping to conclusions like there's no tomorrow. So actually what happens in the chapter is that Midoriya's confrontation with the vestige of One For All, this specific Hellboy looking man, continues into a conversation where, well, a one-sided conversation, where the Hellboy man tells him that because of how One For All works, the quirks of previous users are inevitably intertwined with One For All. And that in turn means that Deku, because he is the user that is now at the point of singularity, will most likely be able to eventually awaken and use the 6 quirks that are stored up in One For All. There's a couple other stuff that happens. Deku wakes up and the fight continues. But this is really where people have problems with this. You can awaken 6 more quirks. People are saying that this makes Midoriya way too powerful, or that it is too much removed from the initial draw of Midoriya only having One For All. And I find myself, as I usually do when making these videos, passionately disagreeing with most of this criticism. First of all, the thing that's floating around right now is Midoriya gets 6 quirks in the recent MHA chapter. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get 6 quirks. We are told that One For All has remnants of these 6 quirks, enhanced remnants in fact, stored within it. Which means that later down the road, Midoriya could do that. Absolutely. But when people say, oh, he got 6 quirks, that implies that he just got all of them right now in this one chapter, and that is disingenuous and just a misconstruction of what actually happens in the chapter. Like, it makes it sound way worse than it actually is. Because Midoriya isn't just given this power, he is told that through controlling his emotions and interacting and engaging further with One For All, he could be able to control these other quirks. But he's obviously not able to just yet, as we just saw in these past chapters, because he could not control the Black Whip quirk of this Hellboy looking man. And people are now acting as if suddenly Midoriya is gonna be uber powerful and ridiculously outclassing everybody, which, again, is more like just reading 1 or 2 sentences of the chapter. It is very obvious that this is not something that is gonna happen super soon. In fact, I'd say before the time skip, he's probably only going to learn about maybe 1 or 2 quirks, because he is having trouble controlling One For All as is. He has gotten up to 20% under extreme situations. Can you imagine how he would even go about learning 6 more quirks all after another? The point I'm trying to make here is that we just don't know how this is gonna play out. But considering what we know about Midoriya's development and the way he deals with quirks, and One for All specifically, I don't think the tagline, "he just got 6 quirks," is very fair or representative of what actually happens in this chapter. This is clearly a setup for an endgame power set. I don't think we'll see all the 6 quirks anytime soon. Maybe not even until the last couple final arcs of the entire series. And now, another problem people have with this is that now Midoriya is just gonna have way too much options, way too many options, way too many options, and way too much stuff that he's capable of doing. And I get that, but I also want to remind people that just a couple of weeks ago, they were complaining that One for All makes him way too much prone to just smashing into his issues, and that 100% Deku will be boring because all he will do is just overpower his opponents. We don't quite know what the 6 quirks are yet. We know one of them, which is Black Whip, the quirk of the Hellboy man. And I assume they're all gonna be varied and interesting, at least as far as I can tell from what Horikoshi's been doing. And it could really play well into Midoriya's character and his pre-established knowledge of hero tactics. Because remember, another thing people were upset about a bit longer ago was that him getting One for All didn't benefit or didn't play into his hero research enough. You know, he had spent his entire life making these notebooks, and they were, essentially useless after a certain point of the story, which was a valid criticism. They absolutely kind of disappeared. But now, if he has multiple quirks, and very different quirks than that, that might be a nice way to give him this sort of edge back. To say, okay, you cannot just smash through your problems anymore, now you have to use your brain again. And that is exactly what might make Deku shine again. Another thing people seem to be very upset about is that it comes out of nowhere. Which, again, not really. Like, stuff like this gets foreshadowed a bunch of times. Like, for example, we know that he can communicate with the Vestiges. That has been a thing since forever. And we know the Vestiges can interact with him, his body, and his quirks, as we saw in the sports festival way back when. 160 chapters ago, by the way. And to say it comes out of nowhere ignores that, and it ignores what we know of One for All. It is a quirk that passes down and stockpiles power. So the idea that it passes down quirks as well, considering it was fused with the pass down quirk of the first user, it's not a stretch. In fact, I was pretty sure that this was a thing that was gonna happen the moment the black stuff started coming out, and we saw him having that dream where he woke up and the room was singed. Like that, I already had my suspicions, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad this is happening. This is an interesting development. And in general, this is just a development at the moment. We don't know where this is going. I might be a bit overly optimistic because I like the show and I'm biased, I fully admit that. But in essence, we all just kind of need to calm down a bit about this. It could be good, it could be terrible. Right now, I'm leaning towards good, because A, the groundwork is there, B, it has a lot of potential, and C, Horikoshi has shown time and time again that he's a good writer. So, I don't know. I choose to trust him, and I think people should, even if they're not okay with this change just yet, maybe wait out a couple of weeks before, going on their slander rants. I want to quickly just talk about what I wish for this stuff to end up being. Because I do have a couple of rule sets and ideas in my head as to how this could be interesting. One would be that he can only use one quirk at a time, like no combination attacks. That would limit him in a good way, and also would make it more interesting, because then he wouldn't have to think about combo attacks, but sequence attacks. And I feel like that's exactly something that Deku would excel at with his whole hero training. Secondly, I would like it, and I think this is what's gonna happen, that not all quirks are offensive powers. Like the quirk he has shown right now, Black Whip, seems to be more of a mobility quirk, like swinging around like Spider-Man or Venom. As we know, Horikoshi loves his Spider-Mans. So yeah, I think it would be good if the quirks had different usages and had distinct advantages and disadvantages. Lastly, and this is a personal wish, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, might. I want one of the quirks, at least one, to be absolutely useless, just to show that they weren't super picky with One for All and just gave it to who had the strongest spirit, kind of to emulate how All Might gave it to Deku despite Deku not having a quirk, or how Nana gave it to All Might despite him not having a quirk. It would just be fun and interesting, and I'm honestly really excited as to what this could bring about for the series. It could still be terrible, I could still be dead wrong, but for now, I just kind of want to chill and hope about it. Like, people are very heated on Twitter, and some people are making very annoying takes about it, but, you know, such is social media. But in general, I think it's kind of cool that Horikoshi has us speculating and thinking about, is this hard? Might end up being bad, might end up being good, I don't know. What do you think? This is a very weird video. I don't think I've ever done something like this, but let me know if you like it. Have a nice time. Take care, be safe. Go watch that Endeavor video. I like it and I worked hard on it. I don't know if I'm shilling here, but what can I say? Anyway, take care, guys. Love you all. Bye.